So we just got back from a trip to Florida, which was supposed to be a quick little trip, see my dad, spend the day at Universal Studios, but it didn't quite go as planned.
There goes our plane.
Bye-bye.
In fact, if it had gone as planned, I probably wouldn't be doing this video, maybe a little Universal Studios thing, but that's about it. But it started out pretty normal. We hopped on a train, the Heartland Flyer. It's become kind of our typical way down to DFW so we can then fly direct flights, nice direct, cheap flights to Orlando. And we've done this a few times. But actually, while we were there this time, you get a couple hours of gap between the train arriving in Fort Worth and the plane leaving in Dallas. And we found a place to eat called Corner Bakery over there. It's like attached to the Hilton. That was very tasty. Like a sandwich place. Look at the mac and cheese they have. But while we were sitting there eating, I looked out the window and I saw like fountains. And so we walked over there, took a look at it. And they had this whole like square thing. Christmas had just ended, but they had this giant Christmas tree. If you ever see like any of the like anything about Fort Worth, you see this giant mural. I'd never seen it before, but there it is, right there on the wall in this square. Maybe a pretty fancy time during Christmas time. I don't know. They're kind of taking things down as we were there. We made our way over to the airport, and off we flew. Landing in Orlando, and going out to hang out and stay with my dad. My dad lives in the Villages, which is a very interesting place. It deserves its own video if I ever get to talking about the Villages. To give you an idea, Walmart has like its own dedicated golf cart parking lot. That's the Villages. But anyway, while we were there, we spent most of our time just hanging out with my dad, doing some putt-putt. Speaking of putt-putt and the Villages, the place that we wanted to go play putt-putt at had good reviews. Everyone seemed to like it, but it did not have a parking lot. Well, it did have a parking lot, but the only parking lot it had was golf carts. There was only golf cart parking allowed. Side note about the Villages. So if you live in the Villages, it's sort of retirement community. You're not allowed to be there for more than 30 days if you're like under 19 or something. There's all kinds of these weird rules with the place. It's an interesting place. But the putt-putt only had golf cart parking. And if you had a car, basically you weren't going.
There it goes, over the alligator. Through the hole. Onto the bridge. Uh-oh.
You gotta hit it from there. Or do. Which one?
Who won?
So I mentioned we're in Florida. You go to the beach. While we were there, though, wintertime in Florida, not always warm. We had one day, though, that was going to be a warm day. That was going to be our beach day. And on our way to the beach, we found this place called Homosassa Springs, which had like manatees and hippos. It was basically like a zoo, sort of this outdoor zoo, in the midst on like the Gulf Coast of Florida, and in the midst of like a swamp, basically. It was like a little island with this whole park on it, and it was kind of neat because you like took a boat. You could take a boat. You could also just take a shuttle over to the park, but we took a boat because you're in Florida. I took a boat over there and wandered around this sort of nature park.
The name Homosassa is derived from a Seminole Indian name, meaning either river of fishes or Pepper Ridge, hence Pepper Creek.
There was hippos. They had, of course, there was alligators. You were in Florida. And there was supposed to be a bear. I didn't see a bear. Foxes and all kinds of things. Lots of birds. And more alligators. And a lot of manatees. In fact, the manatees are like right there, just out hanging around. And I guess whenever it is a certain temperature outside, they like to come in from the sea and hang out in the warm spring waters. This is a spring, Homosassa Spring. And so when it's cold enough outside, they'll come in and hang out in the warm waters. And we saw, dozens of them probably. And some of them were like right there in front of us. So it was a pretty neat place. And we spent most of the day there. Now, this was the warm day while we were there. Every other day was like in the 60s. It was going to be in the 50s at Universal Studios. Today was the warm day, but it was only warm like half the day because the cold front came in and it was going to be a very cold beach day, which we didn't look at the weather very well because it was going to get cold. Anyway, Homosassa Springs was a pretty cool place. I don't think it was very expensive either. I don't remember how much it was, but I remember thinking, that's not very expensive when the 5 of us were there. It could, however, be because Universal Studios was tomorrow, and I just had bought Universal Studios tickets, and that was not cheap. The main reason for finding Homosassa Springs is because it's near a beach. Fort Island Beach is just right down the road from Homosassa Springs. There's no other beaches around, but that one's right there. And so the idea was to go to Homosassa Springs for the day and then pop over to the beach for the rest of the day for a beach day. However, that hurricane that came through a few months ago messed things up, and unbeknownst to us, or me reading Google correctly, the beach was closed. So it was not a beach day. Anyway, we headed back and got ready for Universal Studios Day.
We're in Florida. Universal Studios. There's our proof.
It was Universal Studios Day. So we got the 2-park pass, the double park pass. And so you can do Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure in one day. Plus you get the Hogwarts Express that takes you between the parks. And it's a lot of walking. It's not a casual day at the park, especially if you've got 2 parks and you want to cover both of the parks and all those rides. It was not a casual, take it, easy walking kind of day. One thing I did, though, that seemed to work out really well is we have a whole bunch of Hyatt hotel points saved up. And so I just got a room for the night. Didn't actually stay there. Got a room at the Hyatt Universal there just next to the park because they have a free shuttle that runs you into the park. And rather than pay for the parking and deal with all of that, we had 2 cars, we just stayed at the hotel and got a shuttle over there. Saved us all that time, which worked out really well. But we were there at park open until park closed, which was like 9 to 7. And to say we were worn out after that time is an understatement. The double park pass was a cool idea, and getting a ride the Hogwarts Express was pretty neat. I question whether it might have been better to just do 2 days versus 1 day and cramming it all in 1 day. It just seemed like a rush to get through everything and to get to all the rides that we wanted to get to in 1 day. Just a lot of walking, and it wasn't. You couldn't really take time to sort of enjoy. I mean, I enjoyed it, but you could just sit, have some food, take it easy at the park. There was no taking it easy time with the double park pass if you wanted to get in all those rides. So for Universal, we'll number them. I'll go from my least favorite ride to my favorite ride in my opinion order. Bottom of the list. We'll start with the bottom of the list and work our way up. Bottom of the list are the 3D rides. Not a fan. The glasses on top of other glasses. It was cool when it came out, but it just doesn't do it for me. Transformers, probably the bottom of the list. Again, it was neat. I remember we did it in California Universal a long time ago. Same ride. It's neat, but the glasses just don't do it for me. Number 10, I have Jimmy Fallon, Race Through New York, sort of this Tonight Show thing. And the cool part about Jimmy Fallon was not the ride, but sort of the queue. And that's going to be a lot of these. The queue and the waiting in to get to the ride was a pretty neat setup that they have. On this one, you can see sort of the Tonight Show memorabilia, like the Conan and Leno stuff they've got in there, which was pretty cool. The ride, not so much. Number 9, Men in Black. This one, it's kind of a casual little ride, but you get a gun and you get to shoot things, shoot aliens. So that was neat. Keeps a score for you.
My score, there's Christy and my dad. Casey David's score.
Number 8, Flight of the Hippogriff, which is a Harry Potter ride. That was a fine ride. It was just quick, just short. Even when I was sitting next to River and I looked over and she said, "Is it done already?" I had the same thought. It was a really quick ride for as long as we sat in that line. Number 7, King Kong. It's another one, the King Kong ride is pretty good. It was fun. But the line was probably the more enjoyable part. Just the atmosphere of that that whole setup that they've got in there, and that was pretty neat.
People gave their lives to build this. We made it.
Everyone fit?
Let's go, let's go. The sooner you're in, the sooner we're out.
Number 6, Escape from Gringotts. Same as Kong, where like going into the bank and seeing all that stuff. We saw a lot of that stuff when we were in London, and it's kind of the same look to it as you go into Gringotts Bank. You go down. It was a pretty neat queue for that one. And when you get in the ride's pretty neat. Enough for number 6 anyway. Number 5, E.T. E.T. It's like one of the oldest rides there, but it's still a good one. You get on a bike and you fly over the town, the middle miniature town. It was a neat ride. I like that one, even though it's old. Number 4 is the sort of the original Harry Potter one. I forget the name of it. You go into the school, and like you're flying on a broomstick. That was a fun one. And again, the atmosphere of going through Hogwarts as you're sitting in line.
Your guests, welcome, welcome. I am Professor.
Number 3 is The Simpsons. And it just does, no glasses, just sitting in the car, and it's just a good classic theme park ride. Simpsons is good. Number 2 is The Mummy. The Mummy has both of them down. Like as you go into the ride, as you go in there, you've got this ancient Egypt look to it, and in the ride itself, that was really good. I really like this the Mummy ride, and then the flames above it, and the ride like shot down on us twice while we were in it for like 10 seconds, which is a little weird, but just added to the anticipation of something jumping out or you dropping or something. Anyway, the Mummy was good, and then number 1, Hagrid's motorbike adventure or whatever it is. That one was really good. We did not ride the Velocicoaster. We wanted to. Nathan and David really wanted to, but there was just such a long line for it that we weren't going to be able to cover half the rides. We would spend an hour and a half just sitting in line there. We didn't want to do that. So we didn't get the Velocicoaster. And there was a couple others we didn't do, like the Hulk. We didn't do that one either. But of the ones we rode, Hagrid's, Mummy, those were great. Simpsons, good stuff. In fact, they were all fun. And it was a great day at Universal. My review of Universal is I love the atmosphere of it. Like going in there and like when you're sitting in the lines, especially for like King Kong, it's great. We spent a little bit of time in Dr. Seuss Land. In fact, the first ride we rode, which I didn't put on my list, was the Dr. Seuss carousel. Just because as you go in there, that's pretty much the first place you hit, and so that's where we stopped off first. And then we made it back to Harry Potter Land. But some like walking through the gates of Jurassic Park and into the Discovery Center, like what you see from the first movie, in the Tyrannosaurus, that's cool. We all had a really good time. We got to see my dad, which you don't get to see too often. And also, we were here for Nathan's 18th birthday. Happy birthday, Nathan. I think everyone had a whole lot of fun here. Anyway, our day at Universal was done. We were very worn out, and we headed home for our final day. We had a flight in the morning, and that's where things get a little interesting. So it was time to fly home, and today's where things take a turn. We did everything right. We got there a couple hours early. My dad, the night before, said, you probably should get there 2.5, 3 hours early because Orlando can be kind of a mess. But we were like, we've flown out of Orlando like 3 times before. We know our way around an airport. 2 hours is fine. That's what they recommend. We'll be there 2 hours early. Side note, you should be there 2.5, 3 hours early. So we got there 2 hours early. And first mistake, we went to the wrong terminal. No big deal. There's a shuttle that runs, or there's like a terminal link train that runs to the other terminal. No big deal. We ran to the other terminal. Terminal A is where we were supposed to be. We went to C. Whoops. When you get to Terminal A, I would say most what airports we're familiar with. Typically, as long as you get through security, then you're good. You can go to your gate. Doesn't matter where your gate is. Just get through security, then go to your gate. Orlando's a little different. So when you get to, we were in Terminal A, but there's 2 security lines for Terminal A. We didn't know that. So we went to security line 1, and it was a long security line. We waited. We finally got to security. We're in the wrong line. So we had to go out, go to the other security line. Things are looking rough. Like, we're not going to make our flight. It's close. Other security line is even longer than the first security line. Same terminal, different security line. We missed our flight. So we go through and we stop off. We're going to fly Spirit. We stop off at the Spirit desk. They have a desk there for that. Apparently, we weren't the only ones who missed our flight, because there was a good-sized group of folks that had missed their flight because of security being real slow today. We got to the desk, and very, very easily, no problem, new flight, leaving in a couple hours, perfect. I hear all these complaints and all these reviews about how people hate Spirit because they're like the worst. It's not been our experience, and it was very easily done. They just rebooked us. We were still going to make it to Dallas the same day. We were just going to be a couple hours late, and there was going to be a layover in Charlotte, North Carolina. So quickly, cool, no big deal. So we go, we sit, we eat while we're waiting for our flight, and flight canceled. So not going to be going. We can get to Charlotte still. We can't get from Charlotte to Dallas now. So we go back to the desk. She says, "It's fine. Take your flight to Charlotte. When you get to Charlotte, they'll figure out something for you. They'll rebook it for you." Spirit automatically rebooks you, and so they had done so, but they were putting us from Charlotte to New Jersey, and then New Jersey to Dallas, like a day later. So we're like, that's not going to work. We need to get there sooner than that. River has some medication she needs to take a couple times a day. We had some backup, but we didn't have that much backup. So we couldn't be hanging out for a few more days, So we're like, okay, no big deal. We'll go to Charlotte, and then we'll ask them. We'll get it straightened out. So we fly to Charlotte. And when we get to Charlotte, I asked the gate agent, "Where's the customer service desk?" She says, "What customer service desk?" There is no customer service desk in Charlotte for Spirit Airlines. The reason for all these flight cancellations is because there's a big snowstorm coming in. And it's supposed to be hitting on the 9th, the next day. This is January 9th. We're leaving January 8th. The big snowstorm's coming in, so we wanted to get home as quick as we can, but beat that snowstorm. Otherwise, we're not going to be getting home. And she said, the gate agent said, "Your flight to Dallas is probably going to get canceled." So we're like, great. Let's go get a hotel, because it was getting kind of late. Our flight was to New Jersey wasn't until the next day, the next morning. So we figured, well, we'll get a hotel, and then we'll see what happens with the flight. We may have to end up just like, even if we can get a flight to like Kansas City, just somewhere closer, and then we can drive the rest of the way. Just get us closer, because we're still 17 hours away at this point, driving. And we get a Hyatt at Charlotte. Look, it's our home for the night. Your bed is the couch.
Yeah, it turns into a bed.
Hey, look, we've seen this hotel before. Mint! Want a mint? We've seen that picture before. It's so dark in here.
No more.
Okay, let's see our view of Charlotte.
Here.
Sink stuff. Beds. Charlotte. At nighttime. Also, while in Charlotte, we stopped off. We got some soul food. There was this restaurant across the street from our hotel. Very tasty place. I had some like meatloaf. It was, I don't know when the last time, if I've ever had meatloaf from like a restaurant. It tasted like meatloaf you make at home, but it was good. The next morning, wake up, flight canceled. So whether we liked it or not, it looked like we were going on a road trip. We had two options: take the road trip or sit and wait and hope for Spirit to find us a way home. But at this point, January 9th, early morning, Dallas was basically shut down. Airport was done for. They were preparing for big storm. So we didn't have too much confidence in Spirit. So the plan looked like it was going to be get a car and drive 17 hours. Problem was there's a snowstorm there. So we went down, got ourselves some Hyatt breakfast, and planned. I love these maps they have in the Hyatts. Every Hyatt has a map sort of the area where the Hyatt is. I think they're really neat. Anyway, we got ourselves an SUV. We hoped that would do better because we knew we were going to be going through some snow. The question was, which way do we go? We got 3 routes on Google Maps. We had the fast route, it said, was going south, like through Atlanta. The middle route, which is going straight through Nashville, straight through Arkansas into Oklahoma, that was basically straight into the middle of the storm. And there was a northern route, which you get to Nashville, go north a little bit, and try to get above the storm. So either way, we're going to be in the storm. It's just how do we went to the north side of the storm, the south side of the storm, or right through the storm. Being from Oklahoma, I know that we don't handle snow or ice very well. Northern states do better, so I hoped that if we can make it to Nashville before the storm hits and then head up north, the northern routes, if they do get some snow, it's going to be a little bit, and they know how to handle snow, so it won't be a big deal. So the plan was we drive to Nashville, head up north through Kentucky into Missouri. As soon as we start hitting the snow, we'll find a place to stay the night. Sun comes up the next day, then we can finish the drive home. Because if the sun comes up, the roads will be fine. We'll be in good shape. It's just getting where we want to go before the snow hits us. So we had kind of a quick trip planned. I ended up getting an SUV. It was a Hyundai Tucson. Hertz let me pick whatever we wanted. We had a couple of different choices. The Tucson seemed like the best one. It's a 2025. It was a nice car. It's all-wheel drive. It also has a snow mode on it, which seems like that probably would come in handy if we're going to be driving in the snow. Nice car. Problem, though, it didn't have any USB ports. It had 4 USB-C ports, no USB-A ports. So we're going to have to get some USB-C ports or USB-C cords at some point. Other than that, good car. Seemed to hopefully was going to do a good job for this trip. So we drove. First stop, we just got into Tennessee, into Newport, Tennessee, and I used to watch a lot of Rhett and Link and YouTube channel. They yammer on and on and on about Bojangles and Bojangles chicken. We've been there once before, a long time ago, but I kind of forgotten it. So Bojangles, it was for chicken. And I know a thing or two about chicken places. Oklahoma has a thing for chicken places. They're everywhere. There's like a million of them in my town here, and so I've had my share of chicken places. Bojangles is pretty good. I never get it. It's like a top-tier fast food chicken place. It even has some weird drink. I don't know what that is. It was like a cherry Coke kind of a thing. It was all right, but the chicken place was good. And look at that biscuit. Oh, stop 2. Across the street, there was a Marshall's for a very important purchase. On the road again. It's a bit of a race. Here's a picture from my house. The snow is coming. It's already hit Oklahoma. It's already hit Dallas, and it's heading our way. So we need to get as far as we can. We're kind of guessing around Missouri before we start hitting into the snow. And so I'm starting to look up places, hotels for us to stay the night. But first, we got an important stop here. Gas is obviously the important stop, but it's Buc-ee's.
Welcome to Buc-ee's. Let's go get some beaver nuggets. Yeah.
Now, if you've not been to Buc-ee's before, it's a Texas thing, but they're elsewhere. And well, it's a sight. Every time I've been to a Buc-ee's, I'm just amazed every time I walk inside, and I don't use that word lightly. It's an amazing, amazing place. I've seen things online called it's the Disney World of gas stations, and that is 100% accurate. I don't know where the beaver nuggets are, but that's what we're here for. Here they are. Ooh, they're different kinds. They have cinnamon. I don't have those. Oh yeah, there they are. That's the good stuff.
$5.
Sold.
You want to see what I got?
Yeah, I want to see what you got. Gummy worms.
To share with
Show those. I
everyone.
want to see those. I think those are just orange. Yeah, orange.
Oh, okay.
Sours, like sour mints.
I got 2 of these because they only sell 12 ounces. Is the biggest they've got, which is really messed up Buc-ee's.
They should have jumbo size.
They don't have the 20-ounce size. I already got them. This was the cheapest ones I could find. They were 24. The ones I wanted were 15. That's why I got a little mad.
Very classy.
So I got these.
There's Buc-ee's.
Our Buc-ee's chapstick because the other stuff isn't what River needs. She needs this.
I'd like to start a segment here on this video called the gas station review. It's a road trip. We're gonna hit some gas stations. Let's review Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's. 5 out of 5 beaver nuggets. We made it all the way through Tennessee. We've done it. This is my goal, was to get through Tennessee and past Nashville, out of Tennessee, because the storm is going to be hitting Tennessee pretty soon, right through the middle of Tennessee. And we got to get up to the north side of this storm. And we made it. We made it to a gas station in Benton, Kentucky. Typical gas station. When you go on a road trip and you think gas station, this is it. I don't know what you did, Arby's, but thanks. 2 out of 5 Arby's hats. Hey, look, there's the Mississippi River. It doesn't seem so mighty at night because you can't see anything, but it's a momentous occasion crossing the Mississippi. So we're in Missouri now, and I know we'll be hitting snow pretty soon, so I'm looking for a Hyatt preferably, because I think I've mentioned this before. We have a credit card, and with credit card, we sort of, buy things on the credit card, pay it off every month, but we get points, and those points we can put towards Hyatt hotels, which seems to be the best point exchange. We got this card in like early 2020, and then we had like a year and a half of just sitting, not going anywhere with COVID, and so we had a big old stockpile of points that added up pretty quick, and so we've basically had limitless Hyatt points for a long time. So we're looking for a Hyatt, and there is one Hyatt on our way, basically from Nashville all the way through into Oklahoma City. There's one Hyatt, and it is in Joplin. No, it's in Branson. It is in Branson, Missouri. And it's a fancy Hyatt. This is like resort-style Hyatt. I think this is the one you go to Sam's and you can get like this resort deal and maybe like a timeshare thing. I don't know. It was a lot of points, but it better be fancy. We started to hit the snow about Willow Springs, Missouri, is whenever it first flake started hitting. and that puts us about an hour and a half from Branson, which is where our hotel is. But we got snow mode. We'll be fine. The snow started getting a little heavy. The car seemed to be doing just fine with it. Finally made it to Branson. Branson is an interesting town. I don't know how to compare it. We had a couple interesting towns this time. Branson and the villages. Which one's more interesting? I don't know. They both have their own flavor. I think when I turn 70, I'll be at the villages. For now, I don't know where I'll be. They are interesting, but they're both very interesting towns. Check out this aquarium. It's 2 a.m. We made it. We're in Branson. We're at the Hyatt in Branson. This is a real fancy place. Welcome to our fancy Branson Hotel Resort. One of these is 1928. We got to find it. They gave us a late checkout, luckily, since we got there at 2 a.m. They're allowing us to stay until noon. And because there's like no one there, because it's middle of winter, they said we're allowed, after we check out, we can still stay and check out the place. Because this is a resort. It's got like a game room. It's got a fancy pool. They've got like a candle making class going on. There's an escape room there. This is a really cool place, which will be worth its own vacation at some point. Okay, here we are in 1928. This is a Hyatt Vacations Club. Look at this place. Wow. We get a kitchen. This is the 1-bedroom villa.
A kitchen to hold all of our Taco Bell leftovers.
Yeah, they're not leftovers. Those are fresh. It's as fresh as it gets. Here is our kitchen. We have a kitchen table.
Do we get to keep this little package?
Yeah, if you want some laundry detergent, it's all yours. Free. And we get couch, turns into bed.
Yeah, bring the kid over here.
Fireplace.
Can you get the little bed by
I think we're supposed to have some more bed sheets in here somewhere.
I found pillows in the other one.
Okay, let's go look over here. Do we have a balcony?
Yep.
Wow, look at that. So we get like we have like a game room. I guess this is like a timeshare place. So I'd sell it as timeshare, but we have points. We got it for free. Well, free is in points spent. Oh, we have a fireplace on our side too. 2 fireplaces. I don't know I'm not sure what's fancier than that. There's pillows. And we have the bathroom over here. Bathroom. We have 2 sinks. River's amazed by having 2 sinks in one bathroom. We have a fancy tub. Oh, Nathan's already trying out the bathroom. There's the shower.
Pretty fancy. Pretty fancy. Oh, look at these faucets as well.
Yep, that's a toilet. Already broken in.
What do you got?
Oh, washer and dryer. Woo.
We don't need that.
Then,
For one day.
I know, we're here for like, not even a day.
Yeah, not even a day.
2 o'clock in the morning, we finally made it.
A 30-hour drive?
Yeah, so we really get to enjoy this place.
I think it was a 30-hour drive.
Pretty classy.
Pretty cool.
Good night.
Good night.
We got up, we checked out, but we stayed for a little bit. We figured the more time we stay here, the more time the sun will be up, the more time the roads will melt. Probably better for us. It's only 5 hours from here to Oklahoma City, so we're in good shape. It's hopefully the final day of our vacation. But check out this hotel. It's fancy. We got a balcony. Look at that. So there's a door into like the main room there. We even have our own door into the other bedroom over there. It's very pretty. It's gold. That's not too bad. I'm in a t-shirt. The roads have been plowed, which is what we're hoping for. We have to be out of here at noon. But we're going to run over and check out the pool and the game room before heading off. Hopefully by then, I don't know, noon or whatever, there'll be, the sun will be out enough to like melt the roads. They'll be plowed. So we'll have a calm drive home. 5 hours or so home. But this place is neat. We'll have to come back here. Yeah, I think it snowed quite a bit. Wow, look at this place.
It's not cold out here. What do you think it would be?
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
When we were in that hot,
Hey.
warm
I've never seen more perfect snowball material. Look at this. This stuff is so fresh.
Snowball snow.
snowball fight.
That was left-handed. I'm not ready. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Look at all this. Ooh, that's kind of neat down there.
I didn't even realize.
Ooh, good. You driving?
Yeah,
Great.
for now.
Oh, it's so... It's like we are stealing the cleanings or whatever. Dishwasher stuff. But we like...
The big way there's no one spot.
Can you open the door?
Love these shoes. These are Allbirds. I'd be worried about them in the snow. They're actually not too bad. I thought for sure they'd get soaked, but these shoes are great.
Snowing.
Is it? Oh, it is snowing.
Is no one else gonna come get Daddy?
Oh, that's not bad. Okay. It's a game room with 2 games. 3 if you count. This one.
Yeah, look at the cake too. That's cool. Who needs one like this?
Oh, yeah, the little hoop game.
Oh, hey, I've seen these.
Play it. Here, go on that side.
You wanna hit it?
Nathan's learning pool. Yay! Oh.
You lost the white ball.
Wah, wah.
How did that happen?
I feel better now.
Gonna have her cut you. Bring her cut back in.
Oh, yeah.
Different height.
Pool right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a phone on.
So it's got an indoor, which goes into outdoor.
I know that pool's not. Yeah, we're not using that pool. Different.
There's a hot tub out there. It's going. You can see the steam. There's a splash pad.
I see it.
I see the water park now. It's cool.
I see that, but I don't
You
know.
think more people in here?
Probably. Early, yes.
This place out. Maybe over there by that. Okay, let's try out the pool. Ooh, it's nice. Pool good?
I'm circled like on my thing.
Yeah. You gonna try out the slide?
No.
What do you know? It looks cool.
There's a hot tub here.
I know. I want to try it out.
I want to try that out too, but I just got to do it. I want to try this out.
Okay.
Well, let's hope I could swim around it.
This would be cool in the summer because you could go outside.
We played a couple games here. Foosball, bowl, tic-tac-toe. And we're gonna play that one soon. Dave, you mind telling anybody who won?
I did.
He lies. I won every single game. Now we play this one. I don't even know what this is called, but I'll win. Update. I lost.
For some reason, these fancy hotels, like you go to an average hotel and you get breakfast. The fancier the hotel, the less breakfast you get. No breakfast at this hotel. So we were a little hungry. And lunchtime came. We were done with our pool time. And there's a place called Lambert's in town here in Springfield, Missouri here. And Lambert's is famous because they sort of come around and they feed you side, just kind of scoop it onto your plate. But they also like throw bread rolls at you. So you're sitting there and they say, "Who wants a bread roll?" You raise your hand and they like chuck it across the restaurant and you catch it. It sounds weird, but it's pretty good. I went there like 15 years ago. We were there. We tried to go there, but they're closed. But across the street is Culver's. We don't have Culver's in Oklahoma, where I'm from at least. And if I were to rank my favorite hamburger places, I'd say In-N-Out number 1. These are like fast food hamburger places. Number 2, I would put Brahms. Brahms is sort of a local Oklahoma and area burger and ice cream place. Brahms has got some pretty good burgers. Culver's is basically Brahms of the Midwest. They're all over the place. It's a burger place that also has ice cream, very, very similar. And I've seen things online, folks saying Culver's is better than Brahms, Brahms is better than Culver's. Culver's is pretty good. It's no Brahms. Our final gas stop is in Joplin, Missouri. We found our way to the Big Apple Travel Center. Now, this one is, in addition to our review, we'll get to it. This one stands out because, when you go to a gas station and you get outside and you start pumping gas and you got that smell, the gas station smell. This one smelled like Indian food. The whole place, outside pumping gas, going inside, Indian food. Made me real hungry, but we just ate. It had like this whole Indian food section there. This was a pretty neat place. 4 out of 5 non-bread for the review for this one.
It's a good way to end a vacation with 2 roundabouts, double roundabouts.
I can go from one roundabout to another roundabout. I've never done that before. That's kind of cool. Throwing cool glasses too. You're doing a...
Yeah, but you're cool glasses. That's right. Those are your roundabout glasses.
This one. Oh, crap. Did I go down the wrong one? Yeah. Where's this taking me?
Who knows? We finally made it. Oklahoma. In Veneta, Oklahoma, there's a McDonald's, which is like built over the highway. And so you can like sit and eat your McDonald's over the highway, over the turnpike. It's a pretty neat place. And every time we drive by it, we say, next time we come through here, we're going to eat there. We didn't. We just ate. But one day, next time, we're going to eat there. Finally made it home. We still beat the flights that Spirit had planned for us. We're supposed to be getting a refund. We'll see if it works, but they still continued booking me even though I called and said I want a refund. We beat our flight home by like 10 hours, I think, and that was still just going to Dallas, so we still had to drive. And anyway, we finally made it home. Tigress was very happy to see us. And even though this trip was a bit unexpected. The way home was a bit unexpected, and when we didn't get home quite as we had planned, it was a lot of fun. I love a good road trip, and it had been a long time since we had a good road trip. It'd been like a year and a half. It'd been a while since we had a proper road trip, and I think everyone was happy. And we've been trying to impress on River go with the flow attitude. Sometimes things don't go your way. She likes things structured, but sometimes things don't go your way. Take it easy. Just go with the flow. This was an excellent example in that. And overall, very fun trip. I have one more thing I have to do before we end this video. I got this new map for Christmas. It's one of these scratchy off kind of maps. It's a world map, but it also has the states on there. And a couple states we had to drive through. haven't been scratched off yet. And that typically, I don't think it's right to scratch them off if we didn't stay anywhere and you just sort of driving through, which we had done before for North Carolina. But, you know, we were in the airport. We stayed the night. North Carolina gets a scratch off. And we also stopped in Kentucky. So that gets scratched off as well. There you go. Now it's complete. Thanks for watching.